How everybody doing out there in YouTube land? Thought this was a really interesting video. ABC News got up. Chinese migrants cross the U.S.-Mexico border. I did not know they were sneaking in through the border. I thought they was all coming in high class on planes from China. But it looked like they easing on up in here too. You know. Uh, this article talks about Li Wu's journey to the United States started when she scrolled past the words "the route," one of several common hashtags on Douyin, the Chinese counterpart of TikTok, advising migrants on the irregular overland trek across Latin America to the United States, also known as online as the Big Beautiful. By the time the single mother and her 5-year-old daughter were apprehended by U.S. Border Patrol on a dirt road near the U.S.-Mexico border just before midnight on April 2nd, Wu said she had relied on social media for detailed instructions for her trip, including footwear, Crocs, as well as hiking boots, and how to find and pay for a reliable local guide. This picture shows migrants from China getting off a boat used across the Rio Grande into the U.S. They crossing over into the U.S. This picture shows them navigating through brush, crossing over to the U.S. into the United States. The difficulty of obtaining U.S. visas and the economic aftershocks of China's COVID lockdowns have led to a sharp increase in Chinese nationals presenting at the U.S.-Mexico border. Some of those arrivals, like Wu, learned about how to come online. Migrants, immigration experts, attorneys, and current and former U.S. officials told Reuters. Over the course of 3 weeks, photographing and reporting from a remote border stretch in southeastern Texas, Reuters witnessed hundreds of Chinese migrants cross into the United States and interviewed more than 24 in Mandarin. This is a 5-year-old migrant boy from China chases his brother down a trail after he and his family crossed the Rio Grande River into the United States from Mexico in Fronton, Texas on April 5th, 2023. This picture shows a migrant man from China asked to keep his Bible after being directed to place his valuables in a plastic bag by Border Patrol agents. After crossing the Rio Grande River into the United States from Mexico in Fronton, Texas, April 10th, 2023. All of those interviews said they got the idea to take the land route to the United States on social media and drew on influencers, private groups, and comments to plan their trips. About half said they had been small business owners in China, running online stores, a sheep farm, a movie production company. Some wore crosses and carried Chinese language Bibles, saying they were Christians who felt they could not freely practice their religion at home. China's constitution guarantees religious freedom, but in recent years, critics, including the U.S. government, say Beijing has tightened restrictions on religion, seen as a challenge to the authority of the ruling Communist Party. The Chinese embassy in Washington said in an email that government opposes illegal migration, which is an international issue that requires cooperation between countries. It did not respond to a request to comment on the issue of religious freedom. China, they don't like Christians, but they do tolerate Catholics. Short video app Douyin, owned by TikTok owner ByteDance, is one of the main sources of the Chinese tech giant's revenue overall. Reuters previously reported ByteDance, which also owns Zigua Video, did not respond to requests for comments. This picture shows a migrant man surrendering to Border Patrol after crossing the Rio Grande into the United States in Fronton, Texas. Apprehensions of Chinese nationals at the U.S.-Mexico border reached more than 6,500 in the 6 months since October 2022, the highest on record and more than 15-fold increase over the same period a year ago, according to U.S. Customs and Border Protection (CBP) data. While just a sliver of the hundreds of thousands of migrants arriving at the southwest border, Chinese people were the fastest growing demographic in those 6 months, Customs and Border Protection data show. A migrant man from China identifies himself to a Border Patrol agent after surrendering with a group which was smuggled across the river into the United States. In a March 16 tweet, Customs and Border Patrol Chief Border Patrol Agent Gloria Chavez in the Rio Grande Valley sector that includes Fronton said the increase was creating a strain on our workforce due to the complexities of the language barrier and lengthens the processing. Just get some Mandarin speaking people down there. That's all you got to do. Customs and Border Protection said in a statement that it works with interagency task forces to track increasing migration and target transnational criminal organizations who are smuggling Chinese migrants specifically. The Department of Homeland Security, which oversees Customs and Border Protection, has said that social media and other online platforms have increased smugglers' access to potential migrants, creating an environment ripe for manipulation, which the agency has tried to combat with social media campaigns. There's a boat of carrying Chinese migrants across the river to the United States in this picture. Even before her business collapsed, Wu said she had considered immigrating as an escape from the discrimination she said she experienced as an unmarried single mother. Her decision to leave China solidified during a COVID-related lockdown in October, November, and December, which devastated the online makeup wholesaler she ran from the eastern city of Yiwu. When COVID controls curbed package deliveries in China, Wu said her sales slumped from around 6 million won, 187,000 US dollars, to 1 million won, 145,000 US dollars. Wu initially thought about getting a US tourist visa and overstaying, but a travel agent advised she was unlikely to get a visa as a single mother. Refusal rates among Chinese nationals for the most common U.S. visitor visas reached 80% in fiscal year 2021 and more than 30% in 2022, the two highest years on record, according to State Department data, while U.S. visa issuing globally has mostly recovered to pre-pandemic levels. The number of U.S. visas issued from China last year remained 90% below 2019's pandemic levels. This picture shows Chinese migrants walking along a dirt road on the United States side. They have just crossed over into the U.S. in Fronton, Texas. They're looking for Border Patrol agents to surrender to. This picture shows a member of the Texas Army National Guard ask a migrant from China to come out of his hiding place after the man and others were smuggled across the Rio Grande River into the United States. This is April 2023. Visa holders and border crossers can request U.S. asylum on arrival if they fear persecution at home. Asylum seekers from China won in U.S. immigration court 58% of the time, according to U.S. Justice Department data. The State Department in an email statement said 2021 and 2022 were not standard years. It said visa issuance were expected to increase as China catches up on its passport backlog and air travel resumes after the end of the zero COVID policy. Other Chinese nationals like Wu didn't wait. This picture shows Border Patrol agents, Texas Army National Guard, help a lady and her child get across a fence in the United States after crossing the border. This picture shows migrants from Central America and China are escorted by members of the Texas Army National Guard after the group was smuggled across the Rio Grande River in the United States. This picture shows a lady pointing Border Patrol to some Chinese migrants she saw snitching. Scrolling through her social media feeds, Wu came across Baozai, an internet personality who gained tens of thousands of followers on Douyin Zoo Video, YouTube, and Twitter by posting videos about his migration to the United States. Reuters was not able to independently confirm Baozai's identity, and in messages to Reuters, he denied being an influencer and said he was just a migrant. Baozai's original account, Baozai Adventure, The World Alone, is shown as blocked on Douyin for violating community self-discipline regulations. He is now posting under a new account with the same name on Douyin, sticking to content about his life in the United States. Douyin did not respond to a request for comment on Baozai. This picture shows a group of migrants from China walks past residences while looking to surrender to Border Patrol agents in Fronton, Texas. Wu said she sold her secondhand BMW and borrowed about 10,000 yuan, 1,450 US dollars, from family and friends. She and her daughter flew to Ecuador, where Chinese nationals can enter visa-free, and acted on advice she found on Douyin, sought out a vaccination for yellow fever. It was a good idea before heading into the treacherous jungle region on the border of Colombia and Panama known as Darien Gap, she had learned. At the clinic in Quito, Wu found a group of Chinese migrants who had contacted a local Colombian guide known only by his first name, Carlos. He is an internet celebrity in China, Wu said. Wu and several other migrants said Carlos and his associates charged around $1,230 US dollars per adult and $700 per child to arrange travel and hotels from Ecuador to Panama, including a guided trek through the Darien. Jungle tents and horses were also available for part of the trip for an extra fee, Wu and other migrants said. This picture shows migrants from China who were smuggled across the Rio River, surrendering to Border Patrol agents in Fronton, Texas, April 4th. A Reuters reporter contacted a Colombian man through a number shared on Douyin, who answered when addressed as Carlos. Carlos, who declined to give his full name and said he did not illegally smuggle anyone across borders or take money from migrants. But he said he did help some Chinese people looking for a bus and ferry tickets. Carlos said, last year I did a favor for a Chinese man who was lost. I helped him find a ride, and then through that my number was shared, he said. He said he refers Carlos to a friend in Ecuador who is a bus driver whom he did not identify. I don't accompany anyone. I don't want any problems with my country or with the law, Carlos said. Reuters was unable to independently confirm his account. This picture shows a Border Patrol agent holds a handmade sign reading Democracy Freedom in Chinese as migrants from China surrendered to agents after crossing the Rio Grande River into the United States from Mexico in Fronton, Texas, April 2nd, 2023. This picture shows a Chinese migrant holding his and his wife's belongings. Reuters found other social media accounts giving advice in Mandarin on crossing the U.S.-Mexico border. On April 7th, Twitter post from an account called Lee Gaga said smugglers marked the location of U.S. Border Patrol agents on maps and advised migrants on how to surrender to them. In posts and messages exchanged with Reuters, the Twitter user identified as Lee Gaga said he was now in New York City after a 37-day journey. Of course, you can try and run, but that's not recommended, the post said. Twitter is blocked in China, but users may be able to access the platform through VPNs or virtual private networks that allow internet users to access overseas sites barred by authorities. The Twitter post went on, I was released only after 3 days and 3 nights. I got lucky because the border policy has been good lately. A family of migrants from China who wished to stay unidentified sit in a transportation vehicle after surrendering to Border Patrol agents in Fronton, Texas. This picture shows a migrant woman from China placing her belongings in a plastic bag for Border Patrol agents after being smuggled across the Rio Grande River into the United States from Mexico in Fronton, Texas. Well, that's it for that one, folks. Well, I wish them luck over here in the U.S. There's lots of work over here. Chinese growing a whole lot of marijuana up there in Oklahoma, just one state above Texas. They go up there, they grow all kind of weed, they make all kind of money. This little 5-year-old, he'll be wearing Jordans soon. I heard before, hell, the Chinese work 6, 7 days a week. They don't take a day off. Uh, y'all have a good rest of y'all night out there. Mercy, graces, and blessings from the Creator through His only begotten Son's name. I'll holler at y'all later.